Welcome to episode 53 of Near Death Dolls. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Paige.
And we are your hosties with the mosties.
While talking about ghosties.
And other who the fuck even knows shit.
Wow. If Lisa doesn't even know, we're all screwed.
That's right.
Just kidding. Lisa will actually be telling us about the cult of Sherry Shriner, the Orgone Warriors, and death of Stephen Mineo.
That's right. Y'all are going to need a whole 6-pack for this episode because this story will have you sip, what the shitting yourself. Like, seriously. So, Paigey Poo, what are you drinking?
Girl, I got a good drink this time. Ooh. You know, it was just like May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. I forgot all about Cinco de Mayo personally, and I feel really bad for that because I love a good margarita and taco. Mm-hmm. And that's all really we can do these days. And we're still in social isolation over here. There's some... Anyway, but I got some Jose Cuervo Golden Margarita mix. So it's got the tequila and the mix all in one bottle.
Nice.
Delicious, Lisa. Fucking delicious. It's golden margarita with Jose Cuervo tequila, triple sec, and Grand Mariner orange liqueur.
I think it's Marnier, if we're being fancy.
Mariner. No. You're right. I see. I didn't see the I at that time. So yeah, you're probably right. Grand Marnier.
I'm just being bougie at this point.
Mariner. Anyway, yes, you probably are right.
Shit. Yes, I like it.
It's so good over just some ice.
Ooh, it sounds like it's easy to make. Like you just pour it on ice and you sip it with the shit.
Perfect for me.
Definitely perfect. I like it.
So I'm good. I'm good. I'm set for this episode. What about you, Lisa? What are you drinking?
I am also drinking a tequila-based drink.
Fuck yeah.
I have been drinking this drink since we were doing our Dolls After Dark episode a minute ago, but I am having what is called a Paloma.
I haven't heard of that.
I want to say I've had this before on the show, but like in our first 10 episodes probably. It was a long time ago because I don't usually keep tequila around. But so it's tequila and Squirt grapefruit soda.
Ooh, I love Squirt. Oh my God.
I do too. I can just drink that. Like I'm totally fine with just that. And I think a actual Paloma has, I think it's soda, grapefruit juice, tequila, and I think a splash of maybe Squirt or something like that. But I just kept it real simple and just tequila and Squirt.
I think that's totally fine. So when you say like soda, you mean soda water?
Like soda water, yeah.
Yeah, not a fan.
I don't mind sparkling sodas, but I like them to have the flavor. They don't have to be sweetened, but they have to have a flavor.
Same. Yeah, something about the plain soda, it's weird to me. I'm not a fan.
Yes, agreed there. But you know what? Let's get into this episode. Whoo, boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I'm ready for sip what the shitting myself.
Okay, perfect. I hope you guys are ready too. I'm going to do a quick trigger warning. There are mentions of suicide and religion. We will be talking about Christianity in a way. I hope I don't offend anybody because I definitely don't mean to. So let's just say that. And I'll tell you, I had a lot of weird feelings while researching this, and it'll come up during the episode, maybe what I felt weird about. But there's a lot of Christianity, but then there's also other conspiracy theories mixed into this episode. And I'm like, well, I kind of believe that. Am I in a cult? But not everything in this do I truly believe. Some of it's kind of like fun to believe, like in Santa Claus.
Oh, sure.
So anyways, hopefully there's nothing offensive in this. Listen to it with an open mind and realize that there's plenty of cults that are based on Christianity that go to the extreme where it's not appropriate, in my opinion.
I agree. Even though certain cults take aspects of Christianity, they also take those aspects and they make them their own. So it's hard to say. There's definitely a border between the two. You know, there's actual religion and then there's cults. Even though they borrow from each other or cults borrow from religion. I don't know. I'm not religious, but I also, when I was religious, I never looked at like cult beliefs and thought that's offensive or whatever. It's like, no, that's separate. You know, it's a separate thing.
No, absolutely. So before we start talking about Sherry Shriner, we need to know how she came to be even noticed by the world, really. So on July 15th, 2017, a 911 call came in from a woman named Barbara Rogers. She said her boyfriend, Stephen Mineo, was dead.
Oh, shit. Okay.
That's where we're starting. He had given her a gun and told her to pull the trigger while it was aimed at him. She said during this moment, the gun discharged accidentally.
What? Wait, hold on. He said, shoot me. And she's like, okay.
We'll get into it. We'll definitely get into it.
Okay.
When the police showed up, they took her to the station for questioning and asked her what happened. Barbara said earlier in the day, Stephen was reading comments on a Facebook group where the members were insulting both Barbara and himself. He was very upset, and to calm him down, Barbara suggested they go get a drink and dinner at the local bar.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I'm like, I like to go have some bar food.
Hell yeah. That's a nice evening out.
After they returned home, he wanted to go blow off further steam, so he took his handgun to the woods behind their home and fired a few rounds. There was like a nice wooded area back there.
Mm-hmm. Some target practice, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Sure. He told Barbara she should shoot the gun too, and she admittedly fired off, like, I think 1 round. She just shot once and was like, eh.
Okay.
She said she was tired and just wanted to go to bed, so they went inside, and that's when she said Stephen forced the gun into her hands and insisted she shoot him. And that's when the gun went off, shooting Stephen in the head. Now, she says that she doesn't remember pulling the trigger, and she says that his hands were still on the gun as he was aiming it at his head but putting it in her hands, so he could have bumped the trigger too.
And he wanted to be shot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what she's claiming.
Okay.
So police asked Barbara why Stephen would want to die, and Barbara said the woman behind the Facebook group had been someone Stephen had idolized, supported, and looked to as a mother figure and spiritual leader for 14 years. This woman had just kicked him out of the group.
Oh, shit. Okay. So I was wondering when you said somebody on Facebook had been talking smack about them. I was like, what? Why?
Right. This woman had ghosted him and began spreading crazy rumors about Barbara and encouraging her followers to do the same. And this woman is Sherry Shriner.
That bitch. I don't know who that is.
Oh, we're going to learn about Sherry, and it's going to be very difficult because there's lots of information about her from her.
Oh.
But we're going to see if it's even true or not.
Ah, okay. So it's like her writing her own story.
Yes.
Ugh.
So, Sherry Shriner was born Sherry Coberly in 1965 in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, I couldn't find out a ton about her childhood other than what she talks about on her blogs.
Okay, so it's like she could be making it up. Maybe she's even just expanding on something that did happen, but then she like put other stuff on top of it.
Correct. And as I go on, you're going to realize she's not a terribly reliable narrator of even about herself.
Oh, okay.
Just you wait, Pumpkin. Just you wait.
Oh, Pumpkin Page.
Pumpkin Spice Page. Okay, so in an article that Sherry had posted on her website, sherryshriner.com, and heads up, she has like 100 different websites, but we'll talk about those in a minute.
Damn.
She says she attended a Christian school as a child, and she loved God and Jesus, but she hated religion. She found it to be very hypocritical and contradictory.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, certain aspects.
Sure. She claimed by the age of 12 she had read the Bible front to back with a special interest in Revelations.
Hell yeah, that's the most interesting one.
Well, why not? Yeah. I don't know. I always like Genesis. I like the beginning. And I guess some people like Revelations.
I like that one. I like Genesis, Revelations, and I believe Isaiah in the Old Testament gets kind of trippy too. Or is it Ezekiel? The one that talks that's like, ooh, that could be aliens.
Oh, I'll tell you the truth. I don't think I've read the Bible all the way through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Sherry said she dealt with night terrors and paralysis, sleep paralysis growing up, and she knew that the shadows she saw in her room were demons out to get her because she was one of God's chosen people.
Demons out to get her. Okay.
And that's said a lot when people experience sleep paralysis, when they wake up and they can't move. A lot of them report seeing a shadowy figure. So I don't believe that this is unique to her because a lot of people have reported this.
It's true. Yeah, that's a common thing, and that's why it's diagnosable. My boyfriend gets sleep paralysis all the time. Like every time he's asleep, he gets sleep paralysis. And the most recent time he got it, he woke up from the dream, and his dream had been one of our friends hugging him and holding him so tight he couldn't move. So he was like, I know who my sleep paralysis demon is. It's my friend.
I hope he gave him a call and was like, quit it, please.
Yes, he did.
I always call people after dreams if I had a dream about, unless it's somebody like from high school or something. I'm about to call somebody from high school. But if it's like someone in my life now, I will tell them like, I had a dream about you. We were naked playing Parcheesi. No, I'm just kidding.
I can't wait till you dream about me, Lisa.
Watch tonight. It's going to be tonight.
Hell yeah.
So the few things that we do know is that Sherry did go to Kent State University in Kent, Ohio, with hopes of becoming a news correspondent for CNN.
Okay.
Didn't really pan out for her, though. She got married and had a few children with her husband. And as far as I could find, she didn't ever have a career outside of her home.
Okay, so it was like an early on career. Maybe she changed her mind.
She claimed that she'd always been far more interested in biblical prophecies and the end of days. So that's really where her interests were.
CNN doesn't really do that kind of thing. So I can see why she was like, nah, never mind.
To be honest, I don't think it was her choice. I think she definitely wanted to go work for a news corporation like CNN. I just don't think they wanted her because she did move, I think. Gosh, where did she move? I forgot where she moved to. She either New York or Virginia. I forgot. She moved somewhere to try and pursue getting in with CNN at some location, but just couldn't cut it. And that's kind of when she just kind of fell back on getting married and having kids.
Okay. So she made it sound. That's funny because she kind of made it sound like she was on her track to be a reporter or something. And then it's like, oh, okay. Well, I decided to have kids. It's like, well, maybe you weren't so much on track. Maybe that was your plan B.
Right. So it's like when people unfortunately fail at something. I'm like, well, I didn't want to do that anyway. That's not even my real interest. But you know it is. Like they worked really hard for it and they just couldn't succeed in that area. Or, whatever.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know the end of this story, but I'm going to say she deserves a little bit of failure. She deserves a little kick in the pants.
So around the time the internet had started to become more available to the everyday person, she had plenty of time on her hands. She began sifting through all the conspiracies the interwebs had to offer in chat rooms, forums, etc.
Sounds like us.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't it, though? Although, I remember, I think I was, in 7th or 8th grade when we actually got internet connection. And to be honest, like search engines, I know they existed. There was AskJeeves.com. That was the thing. Do you remember Ask Jeeves?
Yes, I liked Ask Jeeves. I kind of miss it.
I think it's now just called ask.com if it still exists. It turned into Ask. But think about it. If you started having a question, you could just ask Jeeves and he could pull up anything. So if Sherry was interested in end of days prophecies and revelations and she started, I was about to say Googling it, ask Jeevings it, she could stumble onto all kinds of things that people had started posting and, like I said, in chat rooms, forums, whatever.
Absolutely. I'm sure there was a ton of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. In the early 2000s, Sherry started an online radio show called Sherry Talk Radio, and you can actually still listen to her back catalog.
Oh my God. So it was like early podcasting.
Yes. She had a radio show. Now, she would record it, but she would go live with it where people could listen live, and occasionally she would open it up to phone calls where people could call in.
Like coast to coast.
Like coast to coast. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I'm going to warn you, though, on Sherry Talk Radio, there's lots of crazy, there's lots of hate, and there's other bizarre ravings. So be warned.
It's not a party.
Oh, God, no. But over the years, here are some of the beliefs and topics covered on her show / YouTube videos, because she did get into YouTube.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That came around not too long afterwards, right?
I want to say she started it in 2011, 2012.
Oh.
So it wasn't at the inception of it, but it's once I think she realized what you could do with it, she definitely jumped in there into that pool, if you will. Mm-hmm. And you can still watch all of her YouTube videos. But here's some of her beliefs, okay?
I'm ready.
I got some of the most crazy ones. There's plenty of things that I was like, oh, that is believable. And then here's the ones I was like, bitch crazy. Okay, ready?
Okay.
All right. So Sherry believed that she was the actual sister of Jesus as an angel in the flesh. Her name was Queen Shazarazi, or Queen Shaz. She acknowledged her name was Sherry Shriner. She was born Sherry. Mm-hmm. But before she came to earth, she was an angel in the kingdom of heaven, daughter of God, sister to Jesus, and her name was Queen Shazarazi.
I I don't have an intelligible response for that except to say, like, if you believe in God and Jesus, you believe everyone's a child of God, Sherry Shriner.
Yeah, but she wasn't just a child of God in the sense that humanity is. She was an angel. And I know some people believe when you die, you become an angel. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, I asked my father that, and he's like, no, you're not an angel. You're a child of God, but you'll never be an angel. When you die, you don't become an angel. Like, that's not how it works. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that was my family's belief as well. It's not that you die and become an angel. You die and there are angels, and there's like a race of angels.
Mm-hmm. Right. So she believes she was of the race of angels.
Okay.
Next, another belief is psychological operations, also known as PsyOps, which she talks about a lot. Psychological operations. And those are operations to convey selected information and indicators to audiences to influence their emotions, motives, and objective reasoning, and ultimately the behavior of governments, organizations, groups, and individuals. Now, this is a real thing. Like, this is totally a real thing. It's essentially propaganda that the government puts out, but she believes it's the New World Order in charge of this information, not just the government.
Okay. It's a real thing. I have heard the word psyops before, but that's as far as it goes for my knowledge of what this is.
Yeah, put it out there. I don't 100% trust the government.
Yeah.
Hello, MK Ultra, among other things.
Yes.
Because that's real.
It is.
Like, that has been definitely unveiled. That is the real thing. So I don't doubt that there are psyops, but she believes the New World Order is in charge of this information. And I promise you, not too far in the future, I think I will cover theories on New World Order.
Yes, please.
Yeah, because I've talked about it with our Denver International Airport episode.
Yeah, we got a little taste of it, but I haven't looked into it in depth and personally, so I would love a little episode about that next time on Near Death Dolls.
So anyways, she believes that, like I said, New World Order is in charge. She believes, it's about to get good. She believes all celebrities and politicians are reptilians who've sold their soul to Satan and have become transformed into reptilians and have clones that walk around and malfunction, some of which has been caught on camera. What? And she has a video on her YouTube about several of these where clones have malfunctioned. And you can tell it's mostly people fainting or having like a stroke or something. But I'll tell you, there are a few that I've seen before, not on her page, where I'm like, that's really strange looking. Like, that does not seem to coincide so much with a stroke or fainting. Maybe it's some other kind of issue internally that's going on with these people, but
like a seizure,
maybe a seizure, but
okay,
y'all just gonna have to put in there. Now, I don't 100% say go watch all Sherry Shriner stuff, because like I don't want the support going there. I only clicked on videos that I just found that I needed information from.
We're not trying to give her a boost, right? We're not like signal boost Sherry Shriner.
Although I'm not sure it matters at this point, but anyways. But you can find them on other people's websites where, like, celebrities malfunctioning. It's very odd.
I'd like to see this.
I will send you the link.
Okay, please. Yeah, because I'd like to see the ones where you are looking at it going, that's weird. Not just like, oh, okay, they literally just fainted. Or whatever.
We'll watch after this episode, I promise.
Okay.
So, they keep getting crazier, but I love it. So there are witches and vampires, demons, reptilians, and the highest ranking female witch is J-Lo.
That's awesome. I love that.
The Mother of Darkness, who has actually passed away already, the Mother of Darkness was Barbara Bush.
What? I don't know. The Mother of Darkness. Okay, Sherry Shriner, you got your own ideas about things.
There's so many other people. I would definitely be like, that's the Mother of Darkness. That bitch over there. But Barbara Bush, really?
She is very well disguised if she's the Mother of Darkness.
Poor Barbara Bush. God rest her soul. So Sherry also talks about being like attacked by, like spiritually attacked by other people. She says she has been attacked at one point by Angelina Jolie.
Oh, sure. I'm sure of it. Why not?
I'm sure she has so much time to attack you, Sherry. Spiritually.
She's got like 20 kids and,
Yeah, she is not having any time for you. She's probably never heard of you.
No.
And then as they rise higher in the ranks, these witches, as they go higher in the ranks, they actually become vampires. And I'm like, wait, Sherry, that's not how this works. Have you ever seen like What We Do in the Shadows? No, they're two different things, okay?
Two different things, exactly. Yeah, I was like, okay, I mean, I would like to become a witch or a vampire if there's a way to do that, but I don't believe that a witch can rank up and, like, get a promotion to be a vampire.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, Sherry believed it. So, okay. Sherry believes that she was told by God the best way to defeat aliens and knock them out of the sky is by using a metaphysical tool called Orgone.
Oh, Orgone warriors. Okay.
That's right. Okay, so we'll talk about Orgone, then I'll tell you what an Orgone warrior is. Now, okay, so here's where I'm going to get a little weird. Not me, but, like, I'm going to have a hard time explaining this, but I'm going to tell you what Orgone is, and it is a thing you can find in a lot of, like, metaphysical shops.
Oh.
I think they're really cool looking, and once I realized what these were, I was like, oh yeah, those are pretty cool looking. But what she uses them for is probably not what the average spiritual person would use them for. Anyway, so here's what it is. So Orgone is a quartz crystal wrapped by copper wire and then encased in fiberglass resin with metal shavings mixed in for good measure. Okay. So, like I said, you can find them at metaphysical shops in the shape of a pyramid usually. Or if you want to make it yourself, a lot of people use muffin tins as molds. So it has kind of like a hockey puck shape.
Huh. With resin?
Yes, with resin.
Okay.
Usually the ones you find at metaphysical shops are very pretty and aesthetically nice.
Yeah, I've seen them at metaphysical shops, and I just Googled it, and they're very pretty.
They are. Now, the ones she made, not so pretty, but they weren't meant to be pretty for her. They were meant to do a job. And what job is that?
Shooting aliens out of the sky.
Essentially, yes. Among other things. So, as Sherry claims, it can be used for the following. It can ward off spiritual attacks from celebrities like Angelina Jolie. It can prevent chemtrails from sticking around.
Oh, chemtrails. That good old-fashioned whatever it is.
I was like, where are you going, Paige? Where are you going with this? Do you know?
Conspiracy theory. That's what I was trying to say.
It repels demons, aliens, witches, vampires, and the dreaded reptilians.
Yes, we don't want those reptilians around. Get rid of all the lizards.
It prevents alien abductions. That's good. You don't want to be abducted, that's for sure.
Unless it's consensual. What if you want to be abducted?
And some people do. That's fine. So don't put any Orgone around yourself or your house. Okay, so it protects you against all known flus. And I'm like, why did the CDC not use this last year? You can put it around cities that experience natural disasters such as hurricanes to, like, redirect them.
Ooh, okay. So Orlando needs one of these.
Houston needs one of these.
Houston, yes.
We're always getting hit. Yeah, Louisiana, poor Louisiana. Houston, Louisiana, definitely need them.
Oh, yeah.
Or South Texas, not just Houston. It also helps with asthma, migraines, and improves overall health.
Oh, it sounds like an all-around good tool.
So it's safe for humans, but bad for the witches, vampires, aliens, demons, and reptilians.
Okay, so what if I'm a witch? I don't know it. I buy one of these things, and it's, like, making me sick.
See, here's the thing. I think it will, like, burn your hand or melt you or something. I don't know, Wizard of Oz style. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's try it.
But, you know, if you don't experience anything, then you're a human, and that's good.
Oh, okay. You
should put it anywhere and everywhere, according to Sherry. In your home, around all of your electronics, by your door, under your bed, and out in your yard. You can wear it as jewelry to prevent those alien abductions, you know.
At any time, those aliens could grab you, so you got to put that around your neck.
For shizzle. Can't carry it around with you? Then throw some Orgone in a pitcher of water and let the water absorb the Orgone energy. And then you can have your very own batch of Orgone water.
Whoa, shit. Okay, so you take the weird pyramid / muffin shape thing, throw it in some water and drink the water? Okay, all right.
It didn't say to drink the water.
Oh, okay.
Sherry would do buckets in her back seat of her car or in her trunk of her car or fill up water guns with them. In
case a witch comes, you got to shoot it.
You just have to be prepared. I don't know about you, but Boy Scout over here. Let's be prepared.
I gotta be prepared. You never know. Aliens could be in the sky right now over my house. I need one of these things.
Oh, they could be walking around anywhere. Like, reptilians walk among us, according to Sherry.
Yeah, if I ever happen to see Angelina Jolie, I need to have a water gun with this orgone power.
God. Could you imagine how badly you would be tackled?
Oh my God, I know, right? I'd be in jail. Lisa would be like, okay, I guess I'm doing near-death dolls by myself.
No, you know, all of the wonderful near-death doll listeners would pitch in for your...
My bail?
No, for your commissary, because you're going to stay in jail for a while.
Hey, that's cool. Can I get access to Discord to keep talking to near-death doll fans?
Yeah, definitely. So Sherry made sure on her websites to warn everyone about something called DOE, or Dead Orgone Energy, which is fake orgone sold on eBay or by competitors.
That's awesome, because when I typed in orgone, it's like Etsy, Etsy, eBay, Etsy.
The only real orgone can be purchased from her website.
Yeah, but it's not as pretty.
It's really not, but you know, it's not meant to be pretty. It's just not.
That's a good point. I mean, girl, if you're going to make something, at least make it pretty.
So, to be fair, she does list the instructions on how to make it yourself, but not everyone has time to do that. Not everyone wants to go out and buy this stuff. So maybe it's just easier to purchase one puck. Maybe you just need one. I mean, according to Sherry, you need it everywhere. So
you need at least 20, maybe 100.
Yeah, even 100's on the small side for her. But
damn, okay.
Now, before you get angry with me, if you're into crystals or believe in their energy, I'm not denying or making fun of that. I'm making fun of the fact that she has begun to spread this message of all these things that are out to get us, and then also selling a solution. So
she is bastardizing things to make money for herself.
Absolutely. And I believe there was, I want to say his name was Don Croft. I cannot remember 100% if that was his name, but I think it's Don Croft. And he actually, I want to say he trademarked or copyrighted the term orgonite, which is basically the same thing. Mm-hmm. And I want to say she tried reaching out to him like, hey, let's team up, and he's like, no. So she denounced his as dead orgone energy.
Of course. But if he had said yes, it would have been great.
You never know. So keep that in mind. As Sherry's following grew online, she made a Facebook page. She was finding people in forums. So she needed a name to call these followers of her ministry.
Okay, let me see if I can guess. Shrinites, Organites.
Can't use Organite. That's already taken.
Oh, it is. You're right. Okay, never mind.
They can't be the Shriners because that's a whole organization of itself.
Wait, what did she think her angel name was? Maybe it has something to do with that.
Oh, Shazarazi?
Yeah, the Shazaraziers. I don't know.
The Shazanazanats. Oh, God, that came out real country. The Shazanazanats. Sorry.
Nope. I joined that in a minute.
Nope, she called them just the Orgone Warriors, and that name just was perfect for them.
Ah, okay. I should have guessed. That was right in the fucking intro.
I mean, it is, but there you go. I like that you went outside the box.
Oh, thank you. I was trying to channel my inner cult leader.
I love it. Love it. Love it. So people were definitely eating up her radio show content and YouTube videos and Facebook postings, and they were making and purchasing the orgone. A lot of people purchased the orgone.
Okay. How much, do you know how much it was for one
Good
orgone?
question. I don't know.
Okay.
2 seconds.
Okay.
I'll look up on her website, which is called OregoneBlasters.com.
Sounds like a video game.
It really does. And just FYI, an orgone blaster is essentially like this tube, and I think it had, I want to say it was like a tube, and there's orgone like in a bucket, and it's holding up the tube, and it's supposed to shoot into the air. Not actually shoot, as far as I know, but like energetically shoot up into the air, so it prevents chemtrails and aliens from coming around you.
Ah, okay. You know, very important stuff.
Yes. Okay, so if you want an orgone pendant to wear around your neck, it's $34 plus shipping.
Okay.
If you want one with amethyst in it, it's $44.
Damn. Okay.
On this page, it does give the instructions and ingredients to make your own.
I mean, at least she's saying, like, you don't have to buy mine, you can make your own. That's kind of an interesting cult leader, because usually they're like, I am the only one who can do these things.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I don't know about anything else. I don't see how much just a regular regular puck of orgone goes for.
That's fine. So you said the necklace was around, what, $35?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's semi-reasonable.
Yeah,
for
sure.
like a pretty necklace, you know.
Sure. No, you're fine. And the orgone pendants actually look a lot better than the pucks that she has, so.
Oh, good, because I've seen the pucks, and they are ugly as fuck.
They're kind of like a dark brown with some metal shavings. There could be a crystal in there. There could maybe not be a crystal. Who knows? But anyways, Sherry also did something called orgone missions.
Ooh.
Yeah, fancy.
Okay.
She
Yeah.
and a few other local followers that she actually trusted in person, because most of this was all done online. People that she actually knew in her area or would come to her, they would actually take road trips and go around placing orgone everywhere they wanted to protect.
Oh, that's the mission. Okay.
That's the mission. And Sherry would tell them, they get to an area. I think they went to Fort Knox one time.
They wanted to protect Fort Knox. That's adorable.
No, actually, they didn't want to protect it. They thought there was an alien base there. So God would tell her where the alien base was underground, and they'd place the orgone there, and they would destroy the aliens and their base.
Oh, shit. Okay, so they thought that the fucking New World Order had taken over Fort Knox and had all that gold. So they were like, fuck you, aliens. It's our gold.
Something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
But
They got the warriors into this mission.
she did. She definitely did. They went around Ohio, placing orgone in all the areas that she thought were alien bases or possible UFO landing areas. When she'd return from these orgone missions, she'd tell her followers through her radio show, YouTube videos, whatever, how she had prevented mass catastrophe by using the orgone.
Ooh, okay. And that's not provable because it's like, guess what? It didn't happen because I was there to stop it.
Exactly. And actually, Sherry claimed, I think, that the island of Manhattan was going to be at the bottom of the Hudson River by the end of Hurricane Sandy, but that she had gone earlier and done an orgone mission and placed it all around New York. And she actually saved it. And the hurricane was redirected and hit New Jersey instead.
Oh, shit. Fucking Jersey's over there. Like, why can't you protect us?
No! I'm over here living. So, one of these missions, Sherry and a group of her orgone warriors were around a body of water. I want to say it was like a lake.
Okay.
And someone, I don't know if it was a like a park ranger or somebody official, or if it was just some random person, I don't know. Someone came up and approached them, and one of the orgone warriors, who was wearing an orgone pendant necklace, pulled it out of like under their shirt and held it towards the approaching person, and that person like retreated, like they're like okay. And this was their quote-unquote proof that the person had either been a reptilian or an alien or an evil entity. But seriously, if someone approached, like if I was approaching someone to say hello or something and they pulled out like their talisman and like held it at me, I would walk the fuck away too.
Oh my God, yes. I have been on strange walks around San Diego walking dogs in park areas. If I'm walking in a park and there's a group of people doing something strange, if they held out a fucking talisman towards me, I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna turn around, go home. I don't need you.
Yeah, isn't that bizarre? And it kind of sucks that the guy, whoever it was, didn't actually fully approach him and be like, what's going on, guys? Because all you did was give him ammunition to say, it's real.
Yes, exactly. Like, we totally banished that guy.
So Sherry would tell you, quote unquote, facts. And if there was anything or anyone that attempted to discredit her, they would be considered an alien, reptilian, clone, robot, vampire, CIA agent.
Yeah, you're right. Like a Men in Black. You just start listing off things they could be.
Oh, girl, hold on. You're going to sip with the shit on this next one, okay? So I did click on like one of her random YouTube videos, and in one of them, oh my God. She said that she had proof of shapeshifters from hotel camera footage.
Really? Okay.
So I watched it, and in the video, you'll see the footage from a hotel, like the hallway of a hotel, and you see people walking. The video's from one camera, and the people are walking down the hall, like towards the camera, and they're kind of blurry as they move. She points out that their faces and their feet become blurry, and that's them trying and slightly failing to keep their human shape. Like they're accidentally like shape-shifting while they're walking, and they're like really struggling to keep it together.
Okay. And what did you see?
I did see like the people walking down the hall. Like every person that came down this hall was blurry, and sometimes their faces were a little blurry. But here's the thing, okay? So she's like, it's not just what you think it is. I'm going to show you what actual humans look like walking down this hall so you can see the difference, that these people are shapeshifters and these other people aren't. So, in her YouTube video, it then shows footage from a different, obviously better camera in another hallway with different lighting. And these people don't go blurry at all. None of them go blurry. So it's not like this one's human, this one's shapeshifter, this one's human, this one's not. They were all clearly seen and didn't go blurry. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You might have a leg to stand on if you use the same camera, same hallway, same lighting.
Same angle, everything. Same angle.
If someone had come down that hallway and they were perfectly clear, honestly, I'd probably question the ones that were more clear. But, but it was two different cameras, two different lightings, two different hallways. Obviously, I'm like, you dumb hoe.
Right. Come on, Sherry Schreiner. Jesus. That's so funny. It's like, hey, this is absolute proof. Could be in a completely different hotel from another year.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't even know if it was the same hotel. Anyways, Sherry, she would make up these facts and say that she was, the daughter of the Most High, and she was told that by God. Like, God told her, like, hey, remember, you used to be an angel. And Sherry would predict huge catastrophes, and then when they didn't happen, it's because those Orgone warriors had prevented it by using their Orgone on their missions.
Okay, like Hurricane Sandy destroying New York. It's like, she prevented that. Thanks, Sherry.
Or, she could have said, like, the end of the world's coming, and we're all going to be blown up. Oh, guess what? No, it's cool. I put Orgone everywhere. We're fine.
Right, yeah, and it's like, well, oh my God, thank you, Sherry. You deserve a medal.
Right, exactly. So something else Sherry did was try to sell herself as a kind of like dirt poor grandma living in backwoods Ohio, just doing the Lord's work.
Grandma?
Yeah, she was a grandma. She became a grandma. Her kids grew up and had kids.
Oh, I'm picturing her as like some 30-year-old at this point.
No, at this point, she's mid-late 40s, I think.
Okay.
I mean, this is over a period of time. But by the end, she was like, I'm just an old grandma.
Okay, yeah. Trust me, I'm like wholesome. I'm your grandma. Make you cookies. Here's an Orgone for you on your way home.
Yeah, and she would often remind people that her ministry's only income was from donations. Now, she would be like, guys, we need more. We need some money coming in. Please donate because we need to make more Orgone. If people can't afford Orgone, I just send it to them. Like, I appreciate when you buy it, but if I just have to send it to you, I have no idea if she ever just did that or not. But she would very much be like, I need donations to keep the websites running. I need this, I need that. I need some money for a new car because the aliens or the CIA agents have attacked my engine and it's not running right, so I really need help so I can keep spreading more Orgone on these missions, blah 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 blah.
Okay, I need a new car too. Fuck.
Right? Join our Patreon. I'm just kidding. I
know, right?
You can, but that's not where our money's going. Anywho,
yes.
Some of her more aggressive followers would actually bully others into donating and like publicly shaming them, saying you haven't donated and you're here using up Sherry's time, blah 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 blah.
Oh my God. So they're like all about it.
From what I heard and read, she wasn't about doing those things, like really begging for it, but she had followers that would, like I said, bully others into it.
Oh, okay. So I'm sure she even had like a little line to those people like, hey, can you please, we need some money,
Possibly, yeah. So Stephen Mineo wasn't the only one of Sherry's followers who met a tragic end.
Oh, damn. I forgot about him.
Yeah, we'll come full circle to him. So there was a young woman named Kelly Pengilly who was a devout follower of Sherry's. She started like a lot of the Orgone warriors. She stumbled across a YouTube video, and this is something that would happen. So someone would go to a YouTube video about Illuminati and celebrities, whatever, some conspiracy video, and it wasn't Sherry's video necessarily. But Sherry would find these videos and she would comment in these videos and put her information. So like, hey, if you want to see a really good thing about the Illuminati, come see my videos. And she would get people that way. That's kind of how she recruited a lot of the time.
Damn, that's kind of, I don't know. It's not shady, but it's like a little shady.
I mean, we could do that with near-death dolls and be like, hey, you like this YouTuber? Come over here and check us out. Wink, wink.
Stealing people's followers.
The way I see it, you can like a lot of different things. You can follow a lot of YouTube video or YouTubers, lots of influencers. You can listen to a million different podcasts. It's okay.
That's true. It's not poaching so much because there's so much out there. You can listen to several different things a day. That's a good point.
So It would be, like I said, it was someone else's video. Sherry would comment and leave links to her videos and whatnot, and people would click on those. This is what happened with Kelly when she was in her late teens. Her friends said she was deep into the world of conspiracy, but it wasn't so bad that they thought anything would happen to her.
Okay.
Through the Facebook groups, Kelly got to be very close with Sherry. Kelly even started a blog like Sherry's with similar topics.
Oh, that sounds like competition. I don't think Sherry's gonna like that.
No, Sherry was okay with it.
Oh, okay.
As far as I know, I didn't see anything saying she was against it. Kelly even volunteered to transcribe Sherry's radio show for her, so there would be like a written show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She volunteered to do this. She's like, I'll do this for you.
Okay, so she's got a devoted follower there.
She did. And unlike many of her followers, Sherry eventually met up with Kelly in person and some other followers, and they went on Oregon missions together. So Sherry and Kelly actually met in person, at least once, as far as I know.
She's a warrior.
She is an Oregon warrior. Kelly also suffered from those night terrors, much like Sherry, so it gave them something in common. So when you're a young person looking for answers, you look to older, more experienced people for guidance. And in Kelly's case, with Sherry, answers. She thought Sherry had the answers because, heck, Sherry's the daughter angel of God, you know?
Right. I mean, that's a huge thing about growing up is thinking okay, there's got to be some answers here to my life and all these questions I have and all this uncertainty and doubt in my heart and shit like that. And then part of growing up is realizing that nobody has any answers. Everybody has the same questions. And if anybody thinks that they have the answer, they're probably I don't know much about Sherry Shriner. All I know is what you've said so far. So I would say more like a Manson or something. It's like, they don't know either. They're just making shit up.
Yeah. So, and even maybe not in a religious aspect, but think of all the things that maybe you were into, right out of high school or end of high school. Things that you believed and thought your life would be, or hobbies you had. And, you grow out of them as you get older, usually, but Kelly was at that perfect age where she felt like she didn't belong anywhere. She wasn't sure where she was going in life. And Sherry comes along and is like, honey, you're a warrior. You are put here to serve God. We are saving the planet. We are saving humanity. We are fighting against demons and all these things. Let's do it together. It gave her a sense of purpose and something to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why it's so easy. People are always like, I'm never going to be the one who falls for a cult. It's like, no. It's easy because everybody that. Yeah, I guess that's what I should have said. It's everybody wants those answers. And so if the right person comes along and says I have those answers for you. Oh
yeah, for sure.
We could all fall down that hole. Everyone listening right now, I'm absolutely sure, because this is what happens when I listen to episodes about cults. I'm like, I wouldn't fall for that. Everyone who's joined a cult has said that at some point, I wouldn't fall for that.
Oh yeah. So in the days following Christmas of 2012, Kelly gave away most of her Christmas presents.
Gave them?
Yeah, gave them away. When her family asked her why, she said there were other people that needed it more than her, and even though they thought this was a little strange, they also knew Kelly, who was very, very giving, and was like, okay, I guess that's just how Kelly is. Okay.
Yeah, that could just be a nice gesture.
On December 31st, 2012, Kelly purchased sleeping pills and regular strength pain medication. She drove to a state park area field. She swallowed 30 of the pills. She had taken off her jacket and sweater and folded them and put them next to her, and she laid down and died.
Oh my God. She killed herself using sleeping medication. And you said over-the-counter pain meds. That is not the way to overdose. Those things fuck you up for a long time, and you don't even necessarily die from them. Tylenol and shit? No.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what brand or exactly how many of those she took. I know she definitely took the sleeping pills. I guess she mixed them. I don't know.
Okay.
She left notes for her parents and her friends. She told her parents that she was off to fulfill her mission, but she couldn't or wouldn't say where.
Yeah, because if she told them, they could have stopped her.
Possibly, I'm not sure. She believed she was going off to fight the good fight with God, and she could only do that if she wasn't on this mortal plane.
She thought, I can be an Oregon warrior in heaven.
Or just a warrior for God in any way that God instructed her to. While there was nothing found to suggest Sherry Schreiner had instructed Kelly to take her own life to fulfill her destiny, it's not hard to see how Sherry's ideas and beliefs could have at least influenced Kelly.
Now, you mentioned Kelly was kind of at an impressionable age. Did you say how old she was?
At the point when she died, I believe she was early 20s. I don't think she was over 23 or 24.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Totally young, impressionable. Yeah. You haven't yet gone past that age, I don't know, that step where everybody gives up.
I don't know about that, but I will tell you from like 18 to probably about 24, I had lots of different ideas about things in life, and I'm sure even now I do. In another 10 years, I'll look back and be like, 34-year-old Lisa, what you thinking, girl? What are you thinking about?
We'll still be doing your death dolls. We'll just revisit the episode.
Let's hope so. And leave it to Sherry Schreiner to follow Kelly's death with posts and radio show episodes about the truth of what really happened.
Oh, really? What did Sherry think actually happened to this poor girl?
I'm going to read you something she wrote on a blog post. And this isn't the whole thing. It's just a little snippet. She is a very extensive writer.
A lot of fluff. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I don't see Sherry as having a very good ability to focus an idea in a blog post or anything, or even in her radio show. She kind of was all over the place and went off on tangents and stuff. But so here's what she said in her blog post. From what I was told, Kelly was out driving her car on Friday night, and it was ambushed by a group of NATO Death Squad assassins.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. They took over her and her car, drove her to the woods, and killed her and set up the scene to look like suicide, planting faulty evidence to make it look like she drove there to kill herself. Kelly wasn't suicidal. She was full of love and fire for the Most High, and that's why they killed her. She was so smart. She was writing articles constantly exposing them and the way they operate, what their plans are, and what they do, and what they plan to do in the future. That's why she was always one of the first to volunteer to go on a mission to help protect people from them and the areas and cities they live in. Oregon isn't about just destroying wicked and evil underground bases, beings, and people. It also protects people from them. And Kelly had a great love for people.
I mean, oh God, I'm sure all that's true, but Sherry Schreiner sounds like she's twisting it for her own purpose.
Oh, sweetheart, just you wait. I'm going to tell you some other stuff she does for her purpose later. But now, from what I've told you, we don't exactly know why Kelly decided to take her own life. Like, really. There's nothing ever mentioned about Sherry and Kelly quarreling or disagreeing about anything, but that's not the case for some of her ex-followers.
Ooh, okay.
So Sherry had a close friend, an Oregon warrior named Richard Brown. He was one of the few people that actually, hung out with Sherry in person and had dinner with her family, and also went on these Oregon missions with her and others.
You know what? I almost completely forgot that she's married with kids.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is her husband and kids doing with all this?
Well, I will tell you, her husband, I forgot how she phrased it, but not that he's not a true believer, but he's not a true follower. Okay. She's like, he thinks I'm crazy, but he still helps me make my orgone and loads it into my car.
So he's like, you know what? Whatever you're doing, that's your hobby. I'm going to be in the man cave or whatever.
He may have been like, whatever you're doing, fine. You're bringing in some kind of income, whatever.
Right? Yeah. Kind of like, to an extent, our significant others who are like, cool, keep doing that. I'm not necessarily into it, but I'm glad you are.
You know what? You're very right. My husband, does not listen to this show, so I can say whatever I want about him. But just kidding. He can hear me in the next room. But yeah, he's like, true crime is not my thing, honey, but you do you, hon. I'm here for you 100%.
Yes.
Like, if you need me to make you that cocktail, I will make you that cocktail. If you need me to help you with some audio issues, I'll do my best. And he does. He really does.
And then he goes back and does whatever he's going to do. So that's kind of like Sherry Schreiner's husband, I'm assuming.
Right. And I'll mention her kids later.
Okay.
So back to Richard Brown. Okay. He was one of the few people that actually hung out with Sherry in person. He adored her as a best friend. They were not, I'm like 99.9999% sure they were not intimate.
Okay.
They were just friends. They were very good friends. He would often call into her show and talk about how great she was, always singing her praises and backing her 110%.
And I believe that they weren't necessarily lovers because they say, statistically, male cult leaders are all about like making sexual cults, and not always, but sometimes female cult leaders aren't. They're like, nope, no sex, we're good. We're just all about spiritualism or whatever.
Right. Yeah, no, it seems like when she met up with Richard, it was in her home with her family around. He, in some video, he mentions, he's like, when he's still in her good graces, he's like, yeah, her kids call me Uncle Rich. He's known as Brother Rich within the group, or used to be. So I highly doubt there's anything intimate between them. Around 2016, Sherry had become convinced that there were New World Order spies infiltrating her group.
Ah, shit. So she's like, I gotta trim the fat.
Yes. A perfect way to push out followers who are becoming troublemakers, right?
Yeah, like, you guys are reptilians.
Exactly. So at this time in 2016, Sherry had released a book called Interview with the Devil, and she was promoting the hell out of it. No pun intended, actually. Oh. And Richard Brown, Sherry's right-hand man, started wondering about Sherry's motives for the book. Was she trying to get this important information out there for true believers, or was she looking to make a few buckaroonies?
Oh, shit. She lost one of her, like, really close and devoted followers because she wrote a book? Whoa. Okay, I wouldn't have seen that coming. I thought he would have been like, yeah, great. Maybe the book sucks. Maybe he read it and he was like, I don't feel this book.
Here's the thing. He noticed she all of a sudden became, I don't want to say money hungry, but she was pushing this book so hard that he's like, why are you concerned about the money aspect of this? Like, we need to tell people what's really going on. And it's great that you wrote a book, but he was kind of like questioning her motives on the money side of things.
Okay, so he could tell she was more concerned about people buying the book than reading it.
Yes.
And like absorbing it. Okay.
Well,
okay.
I mean, of course she still wanted them to read and absorb it, but she wanted them to buy this book instead of putting this information just out on the internet like she had been for other things.
Oh, I see. So it had been free up until now.
Essentially.
To a point.
No, she did have like excerpts from her book in her blog for free, but she just was really pushing this book. Anyways, apparently they fell out over this because he was questioning her.
Okay, so maybe he's starting to wise up, like, oh, she kind of is a cult leader.
Or just money hungry. I don't ever know if he actually called her a cult leader or thought that. I just think it was like, she's becoming kind of greedy here. And instead of just not mentioning him anymore and unfriending him, she came up with perfectly good, logical explanations for why he was no longer among the ranks of the Orgone warriors.
Oh, what did she have? Is he a reptilian now?
Not exactly. He had died and was replaced with a clone.
Oh, okay. All right, sure.
And since Sherry had called him out as a clone, all the Orgone warriors turned their backs to Richard.
And he can't say anything after that because they're like, well, you're a fucking clone, so shut the fuck up.
Exactly. And maybe you've been in this situation before, whether it was like in school as a kid or at work with any circles, like social circles, friend circles, anything like that. When someone told another person in your group something unsavory about you, whether it's true or not, it's a major blow to lose your friends.
I stay at home.
I think it's different when you're in your 30s because you probably thinned out your friend group and you know who you're vibing with, who you're not.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't take things as personally, but he had this community of a couple thousand people that, like I said, he was kind of Sherry's right-hand man, and he was up there, and he was all about Sherry, promoting her, and everything she said had to be true, and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, all these people are like, you're a clone.
I'm sure that was super devastating to him because he had been right there the whole time. I'm like a true believer,
Exactly.
which I'm sure broke his heart that she was like, oh, he's a clone now. And he had probably genuinely come to her and thought like, okay, Sherry, I just need to share my opinion with you. Maybe you need to start giving this book away for free or stop promoting it as much or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And she's like, fuck you. You're a clone.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. So, Richard thought, hey, if they want proof as to whether or not I'm a clone, let me show them. Do you want to know what he did?
Oh my God. What did he like pull down his pants and be like, see, I'm not a Ken doll? I don't know what a clone looks like.
I don't know, man. So here's what he did. He made a YouTube video where he did something that Sherry had never done. FYI, there's only like 2 pictures of Sherry on the internet. That's it. She did not like her face out there.
Oh, okay.
Here's what he did in his YouTube video. He turned the camera to show his face.
Oh, okay. So when in her videos, because she'd been on YouTube, she never showed her face.
You know what? I am so sorry for not clarifying. In her videos, all she does is have this pre-made background. It looks pretty much like the top part of her website. And she'll show videos of other things. She's never shown her face in a YouTube video as far as I know.
Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. So he's like turning it around. Like, okay, we need to put some faces on here. We need to say this is dangerous. Okay. Okay.
Okay, but additionally, I mean, a clone can show you their face, but here's what he did to prove he was not a clone. He showed himself standing next to the orgone blasters that he had in his yard and claimed, quote, "Look at my damn eyes. You can see my eyes. Look, I ain't never did this, but I did this because Yahushua follower." Now, Yahushua is like Jesus. That's like Jesus' true name. He said, "But I did this because a Yahushua follower wanted me to do it because this will prove I'm not a clone." Well, guess what? I'm not a damn clone, and I'm not in hell. Do you see me blinking? Orgone affects clones, not humans. And then he stands next to an orgone blaster and says, "Do you see me choking like a reptilian? I think not."
Oh, okay. Okay, so he's using her own teachings against
Yes!
her. That's smart. Very smart.
Isn't it? Because if anybody else watches this, what are they going to say? Like,
yeah, it's like clearly he can't be a clone. If you believe in those blasters, you can't believe that he's a clone at that point.
No. Now, I don't know how it happened. I'm sure Sherry saw this because she always seemed to see all the things that involved her and ex-followers or current followers, whatever. And I wonder how she explained this to her people. Maybe she said those weren't actually real orgone. I bet you anything that was just a bucket of, there was probably no crystals in it, or there wasn't this in it. So of course he's not going to malfunction because it's not real orgone. It could be dead orgone energy.
Dead, right? Yeah, I was like, what's that thing that she called the wrong, quote unquote, wrong orgone? Okay, yeah, I'm sure that's what she had to say because she can't let that shit go.
So as I said at the start of the episode, Stephen Mineo was another of Sherry's fallen angels.
Yeah.
And the fallout came in a really bizarre way.
What did he do?
So Stephen met Barbara, his girlfriend, online, if I'm not mistaken. He had seen a picture of her through Sherry's Facebook group because she had joined. And they started talking as friends, and then they met up in real life, and they were really into each other. And it's well known to Sherry even that Stephen was looking for his girl, his true love, and he really felt like he found it in Barbara.
Oh, that's really sweet.
And I'm gonna speculate a little bit here, okay?
Okay.
Don't know this to be true at all, but I'm gonna just say I feel like this bothered Sherry because Stephen and Sherry had a close relationship. Now, kind of like a mother and son relationship, and they'd known, quote unquote, known each other. They'd never met in real life, but they'd known each other and had this relationship for about 14 years. And as I said,
what?
Yeah, 14 years that he's been talking to her online or whatever, been a part of her ministry. And as I said, I don't know, but I get the vibe that Sherry may have been jealous, almost.
I could see that. If she's like, this is my most devoted follower, fucking 14 years is nothing to sneeze at. Even though they never, you said they'd never met, or they hadn't?
I don't think they ever met in person ever. I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Okay, so long distance relationship, online romance, but not a romance, just like
a relationship.
Spiritual.
But spiritual. Yeah. So Barbara was at least a decade older than Stephen. Barbara, not Sherry. Barbara, the girlfriend, was about 10 years older than Stephen. Stephen was totally into her. They even called each other husband and wife, even though they weren't married.
I like that. That's adorable, but I think you're right. Sherry would have probably been like, who's this bitch moving in on my territory?
Sherry said in a later radio show that aired on Sherry Talk Radio that she tried to warn Stephen that Barbara was trouble and it would end badly.
I guess it did, huh?
Yeah, right. So he didn't listen to this warning, and finally, Sherry was trying to find a way, obviously, to break up Barbara and Stephen, and she saw a post on Barbara's Facebook timeline, and that gave her quote-unquote proof that Barbara wasn't who she said she was.
What the fuck? Okay, what was it?
You'd never guess in a million years. So, the post Barbara had put up was a picture of steak tartare. Do you know what that is?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Okay, so it's essentially, think of it as like sushi grade beef, like it's raw.
Okay.
Essentially. And she wrote on her, with the picture of the It looked like it looked like ground beef with like an egg, like a raw egg on top, and like some like the garnish, and there were some garnishes around it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she wrote, "This is the best thing ever with cut up minced garlic. I just crave raw meat all the time for some reason. I know some are grossed out by it, but it's a delicacy for me." And I knew several people that actually like steak tartare, and I like my meat very well cooked. So, but some people love it. And that's a thing.
I mean, when I used to eat meat, I'd always say medium rare.
Okay.
It's not raw, but it's kind of like leaning that way.
Sure. And regular God-fearing Christians would never eat raw meat, according to Sherry. So she must be a witch, vampire, reptilian.
What the fuck? Where in the world does it say that people who want to worship God can't eat raw meat? That's stupid.
I don't know. I didn't see that in the Bible, but then again, I pretty much just like read Genesis and gave up. Okay, well, once Sherry told Stephen, he was like, "Nah, you're crazy. Like, stop." But it must have been really hard for him to dismiss Sherry, whom he'd believed in for such a long time, like believed every word out of her mouth forever.
Yeah, for 14 years. Mm-hmm. It's not like a 2-year thing.
No.
Where it's like, even after 2 years of knowing someone, it would be hard to be like, oh, I guess you're wrong. But 14 years of believing every word somebody says, that would be really hard to dismiss.
Very hard. I can totally imagine. So he even did an experiment, a test, if you will. As Barbara slept one day, he put orgone pucks all around her to prove that she could not be a reptilian. Otherwise, she'd burn or wake up and scream and shift or whatever. But this meant nothing to Sherry, and she essentially said, "You need to choose between God's true way, aka Sherry, or the witch demon vampire Barbara."
Barbara's a badass. She's a witch demon vampire.
Oh, gosh. So he chose Barbara, but it really hurt him to have to give up not only Sherry, but the whole community that he had grown close to over 14 years.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it's like that's your whole life for 14 years. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, well, I guess I gotta fucking... And she didn't even try to be sneaky about it. She's like, nope, that doesn't hold water. Mm-mm. It's like, that's your own medicine. That's the fucking orgone that you prescribe and say is infallible. Mm-hmm. I put it all around my girlfriend. Clearly she's not a clone or a reptilian. And she's like, nope, that doesn't prove anything. It's like, that's your stuff, bitch.
And you know what? She always used God as her reasoning. Like, nope, God told me blah, blah, because I have a direct line to him. So, like, she could explain away anything by being the angel of God, the child of God. I don't know, whatever she thought she was.
Oh, sure. Yeah. She's like, God told me that she's immune to orgone, so she's evil.
Yeah. Stephen was like ready to wage war against Sherry. He even reached out to Richard Brown. Remember, he's an ex-orgone warrior. He reached out to him for some proof or blackmail on Sherry. He wanted to see if Richard had any kind of evidence or pictures of her smoking or eating shrimp, depending on how Christian you are, I guess. You're not supposed to eat anything that crawls on the ground.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so there you go. So while Richard sympathized with Stephen, Richard was done. Richard's like, I don't want anything of this. He'd washed his hands of Sherry and advised Stephen to do the same before the hate completely consumed him.
Probably better to walk away. He's never met this girl, lady, whatever. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need to bother his head over it. Yeah, but that's really hard to do after 14 years, I'm sure.
But Stephen was determined to take Sherry down, so he made his own YouTube videos saying she was a false prophet. He blogged about her and her followers. Somehow, though, he was still communicating with the followers, and I don't know how. I thought he was kicked out of the group, but I don't know. He was really trying to prove that he wasn't, dating a vampire witch.
Okay, so he still wanted to, I mean, maybe not necessarily wanted to still be part of the community. He wanted to at least prove that he's not evil or that his girlfriend's not evil.
Yes, I think he was just still wanting to be a part of it and show them and prove it, but you know how that goes. Some people just want to keep fighting even though they should really just give up.
Yes, much better to just walk away sometimes.
Right. And I don't know if Stephen had any diagnosed disorders, but he mentions in videos, actually with, I think, another friend who was into the same type of stuff, he mentions in the video that he was kind of in a dark place and had even considered suicide because of this group and Sherry turning their backs on him.
Oh, man, he'd already said that?
He actually confessed in a video. He's like, or some kind of audio. I can't remember if it was a video or audio, but you hear him saying, I'm in a dark place and I even thought about suicide. So he's already admitted that he's struggling.
Yeah, that's rough. Poor guy.
And on the day of his death, I believe whatever was said in those groups really triggered him enough to possibly want to take his own life. But as you know, it's a sin to kill yourself. It's possible he wanted Barbara to be the one to pull the trigger so it wouldn't be his fault.
Yeah, I guess so. That's really mean to the person you love, though.
It is. It really is. And after Stephen's death, Sherry had new things to say about all this.
Yeah, what did Sherry have to fucking say about this person who had been really close to her for 14 years and she somewhat caused the death of?
I'm sure she did feel some sort of sadness over Stephen's death. I do believe that. But I also think she was quite delighted to be able to speculate on it as well, just like she had for Kelly Pengilly.
Yeah, maybe she was like, see, I told you Barbara was a bitch.
I mean, yeah, because now you just proved her right. Good job.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like without the cult aspect to it, if it was like Barbara and Stephen and it was Barbara's word against nobody because Stephen's dead at that point, it kind of sounds suspicious already. Like, he said I should shoot him and then the gun went off and he's dead. It's like, did he say you should shoot him or did you just want to kill him?
There's one video, and they talk about this on the Opportunist podcast, and actually I got a lot of my information from them. I tried not to, plagiarize them, but they did a very, very good, in-depth, multi-episode focus on this. Their whole 8 episodes are just focused on this case, and they go into a lot of detail.
That's a lot.
Oh boy, oh boy. It's very well done. Definitely recommend it if you want more detail, because I left a lot of stuff out because it would just take forever. They said that Stephen, when he was live, had made a video about sending back mail using a pre-made sticker that he had made that says return to sender. So he was just showing how you can send something back to somebody in the mail. In the video, all you see is him mailing back a sweepstakes junk mailer card, and you see Barbara's hand giving a thumbs up, once it's back in the mailbox. She gives a thumbs up. You don't see her face, but you can tell it's a woman's hand.
Okay.
When Sherry gets a hold of this video, and this is after the fact, this is after Stephen's already been killed. So when she gets a hold of this video, she says evil witch Barbara was performing a satanic ritual during this video, unbeknownst to Stephen.
With her thumbs up.
Now, she says when Barbara gives her a thumbs up, that's a phallic symbol in Wicca, and I hope you can hear me rolling my eyes. And you can catch a glimpse of Barbara's shirt sleeve that is black. And Sherry explains to the viewer that to perform this ritual, witches must wear a black sleeve.
That's so fucking... Okay, Sherry, you need to lie down. You need to shut up and lie down.
And to all of our Wiccan pagan listeners, if you've ever heard of this, please tell me, because I have not. Yeah. This sounds made up, but if it is true in any way, shoot us an email, okay?
Right. And even if it is true, if it's true in general for a Wiccan practice, I do not believe that in a video that Barbara is fucking trying to cast a spell on her boyfriend.
But here's the thing.
Giving a thumbs up.
This ritual, okay, look, Wiccans and pagans are not Satanists. They're totally different things. Wiccans and pagans, along with Christians and others, are peaceful. They don't, the whole thing is do no harm.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Even when we did that whole fucking Anton LaVey episode, which is supposed Satanism, they say don't hurt other people unless they hurt you.
Right. Right. So this is all bullshit. Okay, here's the kicker, okay? So Sherry found this video of Stephen's. She took the liberties of doctoring the video and adding a song in the background, Elvis Presley's Return to Sender, she added it to Stephen's original video. His original video did not have this song. And then Sherry turns around and shares this new video saying that it's Stephen's in its entirety, and saying that she got someone to rewind the song and it has evil devil worshipping lyrics.
Oh, really? Elvis had devil worshipping lyrics.
Okay, here's what it said in reverse. Here's a few of the things it said. I'll serve the devil, I'll serve him. I love you, I'm lost. Serve the devil, yeah, Satan. Take out the garbage, lost the Bible, loving hell. I'll get going.
Yeah, Satan.
Yay, Satan. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
That's very funny.
So, additionally, one of her YouTube videos entitled Stephen Mineo, That Bitch Killed Me, and she doesn't actually put the B word, she puts asterisk itch. That itch killed me. So This is another video. She focused on Stephen's death. She discusses how God showed her how Barbara really killed Stephen.
Oh, it wasn't with the gun that he handed to her and said, shoot me.
No, it was, but let's get into the details that differ from what Barbara said.
Okay.
She says that Stephen wasn't suicidal, even though there's audio that says he admitted to feeling suicidal from the mental anguish from the group.
Yeah.
Next, Sherry says it started because the demon lizard in Barbara was triggered by seeing blood while they were watching one of the Resident Evil movies. Like, she got turned on by the blood. And when Stephen saw Barbara transforming, like shifting a little, he panicked. And Barbara knew she couldn't let Stephen go on living. And Sherry also managed to find a way to work in her own name into the scenario by saying that Stephen cried out, "Sherry was right about you."
Oh my fucking God, Jesus Christ. Oh, that's awesome.
And then Barbara chased Stephen, caught him, beat him up, got her gun, and shoots him in the leg. Which, that doesn't actually happen. But she shoots him in the leg, and then he's on the floor, and she shoots him in the head.
Did that happen?
No! I mean, she shot him in the head, but she didn't shoot him in the leg. She didn't chase him around and beat him up.
Right, forensics would have found all that.
Yes, and keep in mind, like I said, there were no other gunshot wounds found on Stephen. But it's okay, Sherry can explain this too. It's a cover-up.
Of course it's a cover-up. Why wouldn't it be?
Why the hell not?
She got turned on by seeing the blood in a Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, don't you?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Mia Jovovich? Fuck yeah.
That's a little different, but okay. So, as the investigation into Stephen's death was underway, Sherry Schreiner's name and the Oregon warrior community kept coming up. And while Sherry wasn't the one who pulled the trigger in Stephen's death because she was in Ohio and Barbara Rogers does not deny holding the gun, they wanted to figure out what Sherry had to do with this, to like what extent.
Yes.
Okay. So investigators reached out to Sherry via email, and they had already kind of seen her content, and they were like, we're not really expecting to get an answer. Like, she's not going to want to talk to us. She was very much against anyone that worked for the government or in any kind of, like, positions of power.
She'd probably be like, they're fucking reptilians.
But apparently she emailed back pretty quickly saying that she was willing to talk in person.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Yeah, it's surprising. They were surprised, too. They're like, oh, okay, cool. But as the time grew closer for the investigators to meet with her, like, I guess they continued to correspond via email, they noticed her responses were getting longer and longer time in between, and they're like, well, maybe she's getting spooked, and then like all her responses just stopped, and they're like, okay, she must have decided that she doesn't want to talk to us.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're trying to call someone and you're like, they're not gonna answer this, no big deal, it's just gonna call them, reach out, whatever, probably won't even talk to them. And then they answer and you're kind of like, ah, shit, now I gotta talk to him.
Maybe she's getting a little nervous. So when they inquired further, it turns out Sherry actually passed away.
Wait, she died?
She died.
In real life? Like, actually?
Well, it depends on who you ask. According to the coroner, she had a heart attack and passed away in January of 2018. She had actually had a heart attack in, I want to say it was in 2015. And, like, you could tell in her final, radio shows, she wasn't sounding so great. And she had already mentioned, like, she had had a heart attack before and that her heart wasn't operating on full capacity or whatever. And she did something else strange in, like, one of her final videos, too. She shared a recent picture of herself, like, fishing, holding up, like, a fish. And the only picture that had been online of Sherry Schreiner was, like, from her college years or early mid-20s, maybe. She looked very, very young. It was an old picture. So now she shared a picture of herself, so I have a feeling that she knew she was on her way out. And she was like, let me go ahead and throw up one more last picture. What are they going to do to me? I'm going away.
Yeah, like an actual picture of her face, which
yes.
she hadn't really shown before.
No.
Yeah.
But look, her followers, many of them will claim that she didn't die, but she was called up to heaven and ascended without experiencing a mortal death.
Okay, I see what you mean. So she is dead. She's actually dead.
No, she did.
Okay, damn. It sounds like she is.
Yeah, because there's no more YouTube videos. There's no more Sherry Talk Radio. I'm surprised her, because this was in 2018, I'm surprised her websites and everything are still active.
Yeah, who's running this shit? There's still authentic, quote unquote, authentic Sherry Shriner organ for sale.
We're going to talk about it right now. So, after Sherry's death, someone else stepped up to fill her shoes.
Was it one of her kids?
No, actually, it's very surprising. I don't know this person's, earthly name, but as Sherry was really Queen Shazarazi, there's another queen, her sister, named Queen Rashael, of whom Sherry wrote about and talked about as being her heavenly sister here on Earth, and that she had met before.
Okay, so it's a real person, and they're like, I'm going to take up the mantle now.
I guess so. Apparently, the Orgon warriors are currently divided if this new queen is really who she says she is, but according to the Opportunist podcast, Sherry Shriner's own daughter says that this is the new queen and is truly Queen Rashael.
What the fuck? So her kids do believe in it.
At least one daughter. At least one daughter is all we know. I think she had 3 kids.
Okay, so one daughter.
Well, I don't know 100%, but I think only one of her daughters is involved in the ministry, and she does acknowledge Queen Rashael as the new leader of the Orgon warriors, which I kind of thought her daughter would be like, I'm stepping up into this role, but apparently someone else has, and Sherry, I don't know, Sherry was like, yes, please let Queen Rashael take over for me, but she just seems to have done it anyway. I don't know.
I wonder if it was like that Queen Rashael person paid a lot of money to this daughter and was like, tell them that I'm the leader now. And the daughter's like, yeah, whatever. Okay. She's the leader. My mom has spoken.
Who knows? So to bring this full circle, Barbara Rogers got 15 to 40 years for third-degree murder of Stephen Mineo. Third degree is also known as manslaughter. It's the unplanned, unintentional killing that is not part of another felony.
Okay. Yeah. So they believe that she didn't mean to do it, or like it was unintentional.
Right.
Okay.
So funny story, and I told Paige a little bit about this a few weeks ago. As I was researching this, I was trying to understand how the gun could have gone off, depending on whose hands was holding it where. And I made like a little fake thing for my husband to hold, and I'm like, okay, if I put my hands on yours like this, could it accidentally push the trigger? And my poor husband's like, do we have to do this? This is very not cool. I'm like, I'm trying to understand how it would have gone off, how he would have fallen backwards, because when Barbara was being interviewed, she did say he was standing, and they were saying he had to have been sitting based on the way he fell down. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, because there's a Vice show called The Devil You Know, and it just came out recently, and it's all about this case, and they showed a blurred out picture of his face, where you can't see his face, but you can see how his body was laying. And I'm like, I don't know, he could have been standing. So I tried standing and pretending there was something up to my head. I know that's very sick. I know, I'm sorry, but I was really
sick.
I was thinking, how would I fall? If I fell back like this, how would my legs go? Would I be sitting? And so anyways, that's something I did. It was very awkward, but
it's not sick, it's forensic science. Amateur forensic science.
There you go. There you go. So after hearing all of this, Paige, and after I watched things, listened to podcasts, read millions of articles here, do you truly think that Sherry Shriner was a cult leader, or do you think she was just an online bully?
Oh shit. Both, honestly. Like, I believe that she was both, because she's an online bully trying to get all these people underneath her and listening to her. Mm-hmm. It just kind of happens that means she's a cult leader. I
was trying to think, like, what aspects of this are considered cult behavior and what are just a really shitty person. And
oh, damn. I think both. Honestly, still both. But I agree with you. The cult thinking is like the group thought, like group thinking, where it's like...
And it's all under one person's leadership, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right. Okay, so a little bit of both. That's fine. I totally get that, and I kind of agree with you there. Now, one more question. Barbara, do you believe that Stephen did this and put a gun in her hands and it accidentally went off? Or do you think... Now, I'm assuming you're not going to believe that she chased him around as a lizard person ready for some blood lunch or something. But do you think she was guilty or not? In your eyes.
She's a reptilian clone who got turned on by Mia Jovovich covered in blood. No, I'm just kidding.
So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think she meant to do it? Do you think it happened accidentally? Do you think her finger may have hit the trigger because his hands were on it? And
Yes. No, I believe that he was the one who instigated it. I don't think she was like, I'm going to kill my boyfriend and make up some story afterwards. Mm-hmm. I think he handed her the gun, and potentially maybe she, like, as she was trying to maybe wrestle it away from him or something. Maybe the gun went off. Maybe she pulled the trigger. Maybe he accidentally hit the trigger. I don't know. But I do believe the story that it's like he already admitted that he was suicidal because this thing he had been in for 14 years had now rejected him just because he got a girlfriend that he was super in love with. Mm-hmm. Some bullshit.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't fall in love with somebody. I do believe that part, that it's like he was devastated by the fact that Sherry Shriner had rejected him and his new girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And that he was trying so hard to prove that Sherry Shriner was either a fraud or that his girlfriend was not a reptilian, mm-hmm. that he couldn't take it anymore. Like, they had been saying nasty things about him online that hurt his feelings. These are people he had been very close with and shared intimate thoughts with, and, you know, thought that it was a safe space, and now it's not a safe space anymore. It's like, that's a scary world to live in.
Yes.
And he's already suicidal. So I believe that he put that gun in her hands, and then it went off, whether him or her accidentally hit it. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that she was like, I'm going to shoot my boyfriend.
I agree with you. Because originally the cops, when they interrogate her, and you can see this in on Vice's The Devil You Know series that they have going on. I think it's season 2 that covers Sherry Shriner. They really try and kind of push Barbara to, like, you were mad at him though, weren't you? I mean, she's like, no, we got along, we were happy. He was just very upset about this Sherry Shriner person and this group on Facebook and these people. And they're like, okay, it's okay, you can still get angry at someone and still love them, but, you know, and they really were trying to push her towards kind of admitting to, I did this because I was angry, not for any other reason. She's like, no, it was an accident. It was an accident. It was an accident.
What?
Yeah.
Why did they keep hounding her? Why were they doing it just to see if they would get a response? Or did they actually believe that she was trying to kill
him? I think they were trying to catch her in some contradictions to her story, and they did. There were several contradictions because she said he was standing when the gun went off, and they're like, nope, he had to been down here. They're like, all right, pretend like you're shooting someone over here. Where are your arms pointed? Are they up or are they down? And she's like, they were, and she can't quite remember. And they start pushing her towards sitting, like he was sitting. And she's like, oh, I guess he was. Yeah. Now there's a lot of stuff on Barbara that I didn't mention. She did have, I think, bipolar disorder, and she had a few other things that you can tell I don't know how to put it. But you can tell she's very confused in these moments, which I can imagine, you know, when someone...
that's a traumatic thing.
She's still in a traumatic mindset. And even in, I think, this show, either this show or in the Opportunist podcast, they mention that the police, if a police officer shoots someone, they are allowed to go through, like, a day or two of, like, coming out of the trauma of it. Whereas her boyfriend just died right in front of her, and she's taken to the police station for hours and questioned, like, overnight, no sleep. She's tired and in shock. She's gonna be confused about things. And I'll tell you, I can't tell you. Sometimes I tell my husband things, and I'm like, you said this. He's like, no, I said this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Right. Memory is a fucking tricky thing, especially like you said, if she's taken immediately to the police and they're putting all these questions at her, it could shift the memory. She's not sleeping all night.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And it's such a traumatic thing. Like, she didn't expect him to put the gun in her hands, of course. So she's like, it's easy to suggest to a witness and change their memory.
Absolutely. Totally. So anyways, I definitely recommend watching The Devil You Know on Vice and listening to the Opportunist podcast by Cast Media. They both did amazing jobs in interviews, and I didn't want to, just in case I didn't want us to get in any kind of trouble. They were able to put in sound bites of Sherry talking. Go find some sound bites of Sherry talking, because this lady sounds nuts.
Right, just Google that shit. Just Google it. Go to YouTube. Find Sherry. There's got to be a million things that you could go listen to with Sherry.
There are a million different things. She has at least 5 different websites, all on different things. And I hate to say it, but I'm kind of glad she's not around for 2020 and COVID-19, because I know she would have so much going on in her world when she's like, this is, was released by the government, and this is the end of days, and toilet paper shortages, and...
Oh my God. Yeah. She'd be like, buy my orgone to ward off COVID.
Yeah. So, anyways, definitely go check out those other sources. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to see what Near Death Dolls is up to, follow us on Instagram at Near Death Dolls Podcast. Tweet us on that Twitter at Near Death Dolls. We have a TikTok account where we're having so much goofy ass fun. So just search Near Death Dolls Podcast. And we're on Tumblr at neardeathdolls.tumblr.com. If you want to help a doll out, subscribe and leave us a review. It means the world to us.
That's right. And we're looking for your spooky stories. We always want to do these listener episodes, so please email us, neardeathdolls@gmail.com, with Dear Dollies in the subject line. And be sure to tell us your preferred name and anything you want to shout out. And, as usual, thanks for all your support. Keep being delectable dollies. Until next time, bye-bye.
Keep your orgone close and your friends closer.
Oh, damn. Be an orgone warrior.
Don't believe everything you hear on the internet.
Don't be a clone either.
Don't be a vampire, witch, demon, CIA agent. I don't know. All the things. Don't be all the things.
I want to be a witch vampire.
Okay. We're going to allow Paige to be the witch vampire. That's fine.
That's it. None of the CIA agent or reptilian stuff, though.
I might be part lizard. I don't know. A special thanks to Sam Hears for our art and music.
If you'd like to see more from him, check out the links in our show notes.